tell you something about scripting. It's creepy and it works. It starts out all fun and games, like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'll just write this in my journal. I'll just write in my journal that I'm making 6 figures and we'll see what happens. And then you open your journal a year later and you're like, it happened. Everything I wrote down came true. Oh gosh. What is this reality that I'm living in? It's all a dream. Scripting. I've been practicing scripting for about 5 years now, and I'm so excited to share with you guys these 7 scripting techniques that have really been proven to work in my life. So why does scripting work? Well, using scripting to manifest is essentially writing down your desires in the present tense as if they had already happened. And this manifestation tool works so well because when you write your desires and your manifestations on paper and you see them in front of you, this actually activates parts of your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind actually believes that these manifestations, that these desires are your true reality, and it begins to look for evidence and ways to bring this reality into your 3D reality, and in turn manifest that reality for you. Words have energy that can help you create your reality. When you are using scripting to manifest, you are essentially setting forth an intention, and you are saying to the universe that you are the author of your story and that you are intentionally creating the reality that you desire. So it's like putting in your order with the universe in the same way that you'd put in an order at a restaurant. If you are already the person that you wanted to be, if you are already your ideal self, living in your dream life, what would you be writing in your diary? This is technique number 1, the diary entry of your future self or your ideal self. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. You are essentially writing in your journal, dear diary, as if you were your future self, as if you were living your dream life today. If you were waking up and living a day in your dream life and you were about to go to bed and you were opening up your diary to write about your day, what would you be writing? So for example, you could write something like this. I'm so happy and grateful that I got to spend today living in the house of my dreams. I am so grateful that I was able to decorate this house so beautifully and reflect my personality. I'm so grateful that I got to go out to eat dinner with my friends and that we had such deep, high vibe conversations, etc. So you are essentially writing a diary entry as if you were your ideal self, as if you had just lived a day in your dream life. Why accept the past when you can change it? And that brings me to technique number 2, using scripting for revision. So yes, you can actually use scripting as a revision technique, as a way to revise your past, and it's actually really simple. So you're going to open up your journal and you're going to write a page detailing the specific past memory that you want to change, but you're not going to write the past memory as it happened. Instead, you're going to write the past memory as you would have liked it to happen, essentially creating a new memory of how you wish the past would have happened instead, and you're going to imprint that as a new memory in your mind. According to Neville Goddard, the past is just as malleable as the future because all past, present, and future possibilities already exist timelessly. So you can change the past by revising it, which is to imagine the past having gone a different way, the way that you wanted. And you can also do revision daily to revise your day and to revise the events that happen in your day to align with what you want to create instead. So if you had a rough day or if things didn't go your way, at the end of the day, you could take out your journal and you can write about your day in the way that you would have liked it to go instead. So this revises that memory in your head almost instantly, right when it happens, so that it stays in your short-term memory and it doesn't get pushed into your long-term memory. And then, since all past, future, and present timelines exist simultaneously, by changing the past, you are essentially aligning yourself up with a different future. You are essentially aligning yourself up with a brighter future by doing this revision process daily. This next technique is my favorite technique, and I use this technique daily. It is the gratitude and manifestation journaling combo. This is my ultimate favorite scripting method, and I think it works like magic. So you would take one sheet of notebook paper and you would write things that you're grateful for. I am so grateful for ... So you'd write one page, a list of things that you're grateful for, and then you would turn the page on the next page and you would write the same thing, I am so grateful for ... except instead of putting something in your current life that you're already grateful for, you would write your manifestation. For example, you could write on the grateful page, I am so grateful for this cup of coffee, and then on the manifestation page, you could write something like, I'm so grateful that I'm living in the house of my dreams. So essentially what you are doing here is that you are tapping into the frequency of gratitude to help you manifest faster and to get you into the state of the wish fulfilled. Because when you are writing in your gratitude journal, things that you are grateful for, you are in the state of gratitude, already having what you want, also known as the wish fulfilled. So when you get into this high vibration of gratitude and already having what you want, and then you write a list of the things that you want to manifest, also being grateful for those things, you are essentially amplifying your manifestation powers, and you are instantly putting yourself into this state of the wish fulfilled. You can also use scripting to transform your limiting beliefs with shadow work. Ooh, shadow work. Creepy, spooky. puppy. So if you're in a situation where you are trying to manifest something, but you notice that you have a lot of limiting beliefs and you have a lot of doubts coming up, if you can relate to that, this is the practice that you should be doing. So on your first page, you would write down a list of your limiting beliefs, all the stories that you are currently telling yourself, all the beliefs, all the thoughts that you are having about your current situation. So you would write all of those down on one sheet of paper. And then on the second sheet of paper, you would write, what are those limiting beliefs inspiring you to want instead? So what are the beliefs that you want to have instead of the ones that you currently have? So let's say that you had a limiting belief that you could only make $3,000 a month. You would write that on the first page. And then on the second page, you would write what this limiting belief is inspiring you to want to have instead. So maybe you want to have a belief that it's normal for you to make $10,000 a month. So you would write that on the second page. So essentially, you are writing out your limiting beliefs and then you are rewriting them, revising them into the beliefs that you prefer to have instead. And then in the days to come, you'd want to imprint your subconscious mind by reading these new beliefs daily as affirmations. And you would want to start looking in your external reality for evidence, even the smallest amount of evidence that these new beliefs are true, so that you can build up these beliefs in your mind and imprint them into your subconscious mind as truth so that more evidence manifests. And you can start overwriting your limiting beliefs with these new beliefs that you prefer to believe instead. This next technique is amazing to use when you are trying to manifest a specific outcome to a situation. This is essentially the wish fulfilled email text method, and this is a very simple scripting technique. For this method, you would send yourself an email or a text message saying that your wish fulfilled came to pass. So let's say you are trying to manifest getting a specific job. You just finished interviewing for this job and you really want the job. In this case, you would send an email to yourself, but you would send it as if you were emailing the hiring manager or the recruiter, thanking them for giving you the job. So it could say something like this: thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I am so excited to hear that I was chosen for the position. I am so excited to start and meet the team. You would essentially send an email as if the wish fulfilled had already come to pass, as if your desired outcome was already reality. This is a really simple, fast, and powerful scripting technique that you can use to get yourself into the vibration of the wish fulfilled instantly and manifest your desired outcome. I actually need to do a shout out to the amazing Life by Lucy for this next scripting method. This method is the thank you letter, and this is one of the most powerful scripting manifestation methods that I've ever used. So I think there are a few different ways that you can do this technique, but the one that I like to use is writing a thank you letter to the universe. So this thank you letter is essentially you sending a letter to the universe, thanking the universe for bringing you your manifestation. The way that this is structured is the first line of the letter is going to be you saying what you manifested. So for example, thank you universe, I'm so grateful that I manifested a new car. And then the second line of the letter would be saying how the manifestation makes you feel. So for the same example, you would write something like, I feel so joyful and free when I drive this new car around the town. So essentially this method starts out with gratitude for already having what you want, putting you in the wish fulfilled, and then it evokes the feelings that would come along with the manifestation to amplify that manifestation power. Last but definitely not least is the self-concept scripting method. Self-concept work is such an amazing tool for totally changing your reality, because your self-concept, what you believe about yourself, is actually what reflects to you in the 3D reality. So when you change your self-concept, you're really doing an overhaul, changing your entire life, the way people treat you, the amount of abundance you are worthy of, your physical surroundings. Self-concept work is really pivotal to changing your reality. Self-concept scripting works like this. On one page of your scripting, you would write your old self, and you would answer these questions. Who am I? What are my current thoughts, experiences, and emotions in regards to fill in the blank with your manifestation? So for example, if you were trying to manifest a better relationship, you would answer the question, what are my thoughts, experiences, and emotions in regards to relationships? And then you would write down your current beliefs about yourself in regards to relationships, how people treat you, how you're perceived by others, etc. And then on the next page, you would title it My New Self, and you would answer the same questions. Who am I? And what are my thoughts, experiences, and emotions in regards to fill in the blank with your manifestation? Except this time, you would write them as the self-concept that you are choosing to be, as your ideal self, the self-concept that already has what you want. So for the relationship example, if you wrote on the old self page that you have a fear of abandonment, on the new self page, you might write, I have a healthy attachment style. I'm able to create and maintain connections with people. This journaling technique is amazing for up-leveling your self-concept, because it is essentially taking your old self-concept and transforming it into the new self-concept that you prefer to have instead. The new self-concept journaling beliefs are also really great to read daily as affirmations, so that you can really embody this new self-concept and really imprint your subconscious mind with these new beliefs. And when it comes to scripting, there's a couple of tips and tricks that you can use to manifest faster. So one of those things is to make sure you're writing in the present tense. So whenever you're scripting something, always make sure that you are writing it as if it is happening now. So for example, I am buying my dream house. I am driving the car of my dreams. I am in the relationship of my dreams. I'm surrounded by friends that love and care for me, etc. Always write them in the present tense. And when you are scripting, as much as possible, you want to feel the feeling of your wish fulfilled. So you want to combine emotions with scripting. So when you are scripting, you want to amplify the positive emotions that you would feel if you already had this manifestation. You want to be feeling the wish fulfilled. Why is this? Because when you are scripting and you're also feeling the emotions associated with having your manifestation, you are activating the manifestation powers of your mind, because your mind is seeing the scripting, and you are also activating the manifestation powers of your heart, because your heart is feeling the scripting. And according to Psychology Today, the magnetic field produced by the heart is more than 100 times greater in strength than the field generated by the brain. So when you are activating your heart by feeling the emotions of your wish fulfilled, you are also amplifying the power of your manifestation. The feeling is the secret, right? You also want to implement the 17-second rule by Abraham Hicks when you are scripting. So the 17-second rule by Abraham Hicks essentially says that 17 seconds is the amount of time that you need to focus on your manifestation in order to activate the energy of that manifestation. So when you are scripting, you want to focus on each item that you are writing for 17 seconds so that you have enough focus built up to activate that manifestation. So one technique that you can use to do this is after you have finished scripting, you can reread what you have written down, and you can actually take your finger like a wand and trace it. Trace what you have written down and set a timer for 17 seconds while you are focusing and tracing the words that you have written. The best mindset to have when you are scripting is to act as if these are things that are planned in the future that are for sure going to happen. So that feeling that you would get when you know your friend has a birthday party coming up in a month and you're super excited for it and you're looking forward to it, that's how you want to feel about your scripting and your manifestations. So when you have these desires written down on the paper, you want to have the energy of certainty that these are for sure coming to you, and you also want to have the energy of excitement and anticipation that you are looking forward to receiving them in the same way that you'd be looking forward to an actual event in your life. Because this really solidifies the energy exchange and the trust that the universe will bring these manifestations to you. This is one of the most powerful things that you can do to really amplify your manifestation powers when you're scripting. And this is to combine scripting with visualization. So if you're trying to manifest the car of your dreams and you write in your journal, I am so grateful that I'm driving the car of my dreams, and then you close your eyes and for 17 seconds, you imagine yourself driving that car of your dreams. Combining the scripting with the visualizing is going to amplify your manifestation powers and bring your manifestation to you so much quicker than if you had just scripted alone. So combining scripting and visualizing is an amazing technique to manifest faster. So when is the best time to do scripting? My recommendation here is to do it right when you wake up in the morning, as soon as you wake up, and then also right before you go to bed at night. Because when you are just waking up, or just before you are falling asleep, when you are in that drowsy state between being awake and being asleep, you are in the sad state, the state akin to sleep, as Neville Goddard would say. And this is when your subconscious mind is more open and receptive to new ideas. So if you have time to script once a day, you want to do it either right when you wake up in the morning or right before you go to bed at night. And a common question that I have seen is how often people should do scripting. And really, that's up to you. I love scripting daily because it keeps me on track with my goals and my manifestations, and it keeps me in that feeling state of the wish fulfilled. But you don't have to script daily. You could script monthly. At the beginning of each month, you could script and set your intentions and manifestations for that month. You can also make scripting a ritual that you do every time there's a new moon. New moons actually symbolize new beginnings and fresh starts, and it's a time of heightened energy that's ideal for setting intentions and manifesting goals. So it's the perfect time to do your scripting. And I've also heard of people doing scripting in 90-day cycles. So each 90 days, they will script their intentions for the next 3 months, and then at the end of those 90 days, they'll check in on their scripting, what is manifested, and they'll do another round of scripting for the next 90 days. So those are just some ideas for how often you can script, but really it's up to you. As long as you are putting a strong intention and a strong emotion behind your scripting will manifest, even if you are only doing it once in a new moon. Scripting is essentially putting your order in with the universe. It is consciously choosing to be the author of your own story. After you have finished scripting, there is nothing else that you need to do. You can let go and trust that the universe is bringing you your desired outcome, your manifestation. When you practice scripting and you begin to see the words that you have written appear in your reality, you will realize that reality is not as fixed as you had once believed, and you will begin to realize your true essence, that you are both the writer, the actor, and the play, that you are both the architect and the building.